Ashley, let me start with you. Take me inside what's really going on behind 2 days of front page stories and the kind of cable coverage that Donald Trump just can't avoid, even when it's bad stuff about him.
In talking to people in his orbit, it's obviously not a story they want, and it's a storyline that he is incredibly sensitive to, right? It cuts at the core of the things he cares about, sort of the illegitimacy of his claim as a true billionaire. And as you said, he is wealthy by any measure, but he does owe a tremendous amount of money coming due. And there are many years where his losses ultimately were larger than his gains, right? And that is how he sold himself to the American public as a businessman, as a deal maker. And if you read the piece, one of the most damning things is this idea that the more involved the president than just the citizen Donald Trump was in a business, the less well it did. In the piece that came out today, it reveals that some of these licensing deals where he just gave his name, but actually put the business savvy in the hands of someone else, actually did fairly well. It was when the president himself was making the decisions that it really floundered. So it undercuts that core argument for voters. And there is also just, and again, it remains unclear how much his taxes will persuade people. But in talking to people on both sides, there is something about the specificity of $750 that in some ways is more devastating than even just saying the president simply pays nothing, because that allowed Biden to go out and do what he did, where he showed firefighters paid more, nurses paid more, doctors paid more, construction workers paid more. So that's where things are as we enter into the debate tonight.
You know, Donnie, I think there's something intuitive about the revelations that even if you don't hang on every detail of what is, by investigative journalism standards, spectacular reporting, a really important piece of the Trump story, there is this really clear picture of a person for whom everything is for sale. And it is now fair, 4 years in, that that's how he's run the country. Whether it's the $1 million that we learned in the first report that he got from Erdogan, you can connect the dots to just bizarre pro-Turkish policies as it regarded the invasion that led to the slaughter of our allies, the Kurds there. I mean, you can connect the dots to where he got something. And I guess the work of investigative journalism in the coming months is to figure out what we lost as a country.
I think the important dots to connect is back to the voter. And, you know, there's so much to go with there. Your head can spin. It's one simple message and attached to some broader messages. He expects you to pay taxes, and he doesn't. You're a sucker in his mind. You're a sucker if you go to war to fight for your country, or a loser. You're a sucker if you believe in the coronavirus. And, you know, and guess what? I know what's going on, but I'm not going to tell you. And you're a sucker if you think you're going to keep your health care because he's going to take pre-existing conditions away. And that is what Joe Biden has to serve up, that he is the protector in chief versus the con in chief. You got to keep it simple. If we get too mired in, well, who does he owe money to? And then was he for sale for the country? We've seen with Mueller, we've seen with Ukraine that voters don't bring it back to them. When it comes to their pay stubs, when it comes to the taxes that they pay every week, boy, you find out the guy next door, the billionaire next door, is not paying taxes, that hits you in the gut. That's that one takeaway from the incredible reporting of the Times.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.